Welcome back to Good Morning LaLa Land. We are live from Los Angeles and we are honoring hashtag Transformation Tuesday today. So we have an incredible article Erin found about the ways 7 of the most successful entrepreneurs are actually starting their day.
Right. So, we're always asking our guests how they start their day, but actually this is about their daily routine. And some of the things that some of these people like Jack Dorsey, CEO of Square and the founder of Twitter, they ask, how do you balance work and play and life and your family, right? So it's very interesting because these are concepts that a lot of leadership programs promote. And basically he chunks each day as a different intention of each day. So for example, Monday is all about management and running the company. Tuesday is about the actual product. Wednesday is marketing, communications, and growth, and so on and so forth. So the point is this, it's like, I remember reading the book by Tim Ferriss years back, which he was such a genius in doing this, but like, how do you chunk your days? How do you have days where you don't get on your phone at all? How do you have times when you only check your email maybe once a day or certain days of the week? And this is kind of what the common denominator of very successful CEOs and top entrepreneurs do. They basically decide and design their week and their daily routine, how they want to do it.
Cost you distraction, so when you're focused on X, you're not focused on Y, but also to get refocused, also that costs you time and energy as well. So you actually lose a lot more time and energy than you realize every time you're distracted.
Mm-hmm. I absolutely love this concept because I feel like I have to manage all aspects of my life all at the same time, and I can absolutely never get caught up. The trouble for me is wrapping my mind around putting something off until the following day because I feel guilty. Oh, I should be responding to all these emails. If I don't do emails until Wednesday, what are people going to think on Tuesday?
Right. So Tim Ferriss would say this, you do an automated response, like a vacation response to people, and you say, thank you so much for your email. I respond to emails Tuesday and Wednesday or whatever it is, and within 48 hours, you'll get an email back, whatever that is. Like, you can do that. You can also, have an automated text response to people like, thank you so much for your text. We'll get back to you within 24 hours.
Yeah, I love that. I also
Right?
love, and I think it's important to be prompt. But when you're too prompt, you actually encourage people to like raise their expectations about when you're getting back, and so it just becomes like this terrible rabbit hole that you dig for yourself. So it's good actually to make people wait a little bit sometimes, Jez.
Sounds
as
like
hard as that might be.
some player dating going on.
A little bit.
There.
I use that in my dating life as well.
Right?
No.
No, just kidding.
It was really interesting. I took a dinner meeting this past weekend, and my companion said, what do you think at the end of the day? What is it that you think when you go to bed? And I always think, I wish I could have done more.
You're Superwoman already,
She
Jez.
really is.
You really
Yeah.
are. It's amazing.
Thank you. I really appreciate that, but it's really interesting because I need to learn how to maximize not only my personal capacity, but opportunity.
Yeah, it's tough. I think you have to constantly calibrate and recalibrate for ROI. So how much time and energy I'm investing in something and how much reward I'm getting. And so it's something that often you can make educated guesses around, but you don't always know whether a conversation or a meeting is going to be worth the ROI. So it takes a lot of experimentation, but for me, it's just key to like really dig into that, because if I'm not digging into like the ROI around any particular conversation, meeting, or activity, then you just get swamped, and you're always swamped, and it's endless.
ROI is return on investment, just so you know.
Yeah.
Like, what is he talking about?
Well,
But the truth is that we are, we're spiritual beings. We direct energy, and if we're directing energy all over the place, it's not going to be very effective. So we have to choose and decide where we're going to put our energy, and choose and decide what we're going to focus on. Because if we're ping-ponging back and forth, the reality is science has proven that we can't actually do 2 things at once. Our mind literally only can focus on one thing at a time.
Yeah, the parallel processing is a myth, apparently.
Yeah.
Multitasking is a myth.
Well, not for me, I'm a Gemini. So I
Well,
process
that
all
changes
day,
things.
every
Yeah,
day.
you are the exception to the rule, Jessalyn, in every way.
If you want to reference the article we're talking about, it is on thebufferapp.com, and it's the daily routines of famous entrepreneurs and how to design your own master schedule. I thought it was really interesting. Winston Churchill stayed in bed until 11:30 a.m. every day. He did all his readings, letters, mailings, everything from bed, got out of bed, had a 2-hour lunch, and took his work to the office. So what works for you, or Winston Churchill, may be your own master plan.
That's fantastic. Albert Einstein did something similar. He would spend like hours in the bathtub. Literally just thinking, like really.
That's genius. It obviously worked for him.
Apparently,
Right?
Yeah.
For sure. So let's take a little break. When we come back, we're going to get to the back studio and find out about all the people here, their transformation and the body, mind, spirit, their business, and all the above. Stay tuned.
Hello, Los Angeles. I I am your host and producer, Alex Worley, filming inside Focus TV's West Hollywood studio. Welcome to Empowerista, a show dedicated to highlighting female trailblazers and empowering you to turn your barriers into breakthroughs.
Hey guys, I'm Amy Paprath.
And I'm Justin Walter.
And this is What's Good, the show that's dedicated to positive, uplifting stories from all over the globe.
Welcome to Good Morning LaLa Land. I'm Dr. Erin.
I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Jessica Moyer.
And we're making history as the first live streaming daily talk show.
This is where all kinds of shit happens.
Monday through Friday, we are going to be streaming to you live, Los Angeles, at 9 a.m. Pacific time on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Alyssa Goodman Show. So Kelly, welcome.
Thank you for having me, Alyssa. This is so fun.
I know.
What's up, Rosé girls? I'm Jessica Carroll. Today we're gonna have so much fun because we have fitness personality Katie Austin.
Hey,
We're
thanks for
having
having me
Rosé
on.
with
Cheers.
Katie Austin.
I love it. It
Cheers.
feels like a Saturday.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Millennial Life. I'm your host, Laura Odegaard, and today we are joined by the very beautiful former Miss California and now a TV host, Natasha Martinez. I'm so happy that you're here.
I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
You are tuning in to Slay with Rachel McCourt, and I have a fabulous guest. In studio with me is Liza Glukoff. She's just been named executive producer of programming at Awesomeness TV. I mean, no big deal, but huge. Hi.
Thank you. Hi.
Are we so excited right now?
We are so excited.
I mean,
Thank
we
you for
have
having me.
roses, we have perfect lighting, we've got some Spa Girl vodka in case we get a little crazy.
Hey, Dr. Erin here, teaching universal law and spiritual truth, having a conscious conversation in the heart of Hollywood. And I'm honored to have the guest today, who is Christina Pascucci, who is amazing. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's an honor to be here with you.
Aw.
I so appreciate it.
Hi, I'm Jenna Barnett with Millennial Mom on Focus TV. And today I have Jennifer Yen here today to chat with me about all things mom related. So you actually started your career as an actress and you were on the very famous TV series Power Rangers, right?
Yes, I used to fight them as my first career.
You're watching Beige Bay TV. It's fitness expert and your Beige Bay Edwina Chia. Ladies and genticles, Tiffany Angulo. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. You know, you're my Beige Bay of the week, not only because of your nationality, but because you just seem like the girl who does it all.
Hi everybody, I'm Allie Landry and welcome to Reshape TV. I have created an online platform, reshapelive.com and Reshape TV, to provide a place where women can learn from the very best resources for those of us who are striving to reshape our lives and live an optimal, healthy lifestyle.
Hey LA, I'm Gwen Lane with the LA Girl, and I'm here with Liz Hernandez, former TV host at Access Hollywood and now the founder of Wordiful. So excited to hear more about that. Liz, thank you so much for being here today.
Hi Gwen, thanks for having me.
Hi everyone, it's Michelle Gillette, life coach and host of the Spotlight series on Focus TV. And joining us today is our dear friend, Shalini Videra.
And thank you for having me.
Of course.
I'm so happy to be here.
You're the perfect person to be here because we love anything that is, women helping other women, women empowering other women.
Hi, I'm Janica. I'm here with Focus TV for my segment of Fearless Females. And today I interview Doriana Richmond. You're gonna love listening to Doriana. Not only is she beautiful, but she's so heartfelt, and she has created this amazing jewelry line called Stone Simple. Hi.
Oh, thank you for that introduction.
Yeah,
Wow.
of course. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Hi, and welcome to Everyday Game Changers, the show that features people giving back to their community. I'm your host, Annalise Getz, and today we are joined by Rolanda Watts. Rolanda is a stand-up comedian, she's an actress, she's a television personality, and she is a philanthropist, which is why she's here today. So thank you for joining us, Rolanda.
Thank you for having me. A joy to be here.
Today on Moms Matter, we're going to talk about money, 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 something that we all struggle with and we need help with, and that's why we have the fabulous Winnie Sun, who's here with us today.
Aw, thank you.
Thank you so much. I know you've been on MSNBC and Forbes, and you are the money expert.
Hey everyone, welcome back to a new magical episode of Soul Reboot. I am your host, Allison Charles. Please welcome and meet this powerful divine queen whose name is Daphne Wayans. I am so happy to be here with you.
I'm so honored to be here.
Welcome back live from Los Angeles. We have John Livesay in the house, who is a dear friend of mine. He is considered a pitch whisperer. He's an author. He's a success coach. He is incredible. I just love you, John. I'm so glad you're here.
It's so great to be with you and two of your new great friends.
Right?
the show.
Thank
you
for being here. So you have worked with, you've worked with so many companies, branding, doing all kinds of things, helping with sales. And recently, of course, you have books that have come out. I've watched you in all this stuff. One of the genius things I've watched you do is help people start their podcasts. You were one of the first people that said to me, having a show is not so much about having the show become huge. It's about the relationships that come out of that and the genius of that. And that, for me, changed my entire thinking around everything I was doing. So thank you for that.
Fantastic. Well, they always say that your network is your net worth.
Ooh, I am rich.
So the kinds of people I've been able to get on my podcast have incredible influence, and I would never get to know these people, but having the podcast is a way to get them on and get a relationship going, and then who they've introduced me to is a one thing. So I really encourage a lot of people to explore having your own way of creating weekly content without having to write a word.
Right.
Because you can take the transcript from the podcast, and I do it posted as an article on LinkedIn every week. So there's lots of ways to get that, and I had to overcome a lot of fears. And we talk about transformation of starting a podcast. Because someone said, well, why don't you start a podcast? I'm like, well, why don't I go to the moon? I don't know how to do that. So, and I realized I had some fear, and I thought for me, I had to put some faces on it. And the first one was the fear of rejection. What if I asked some, celebrities like you to be on my show? And I'm like, well, do you have any episodes we could listen to? And I'd be like, no, you'd be the first. So it was the fear of rejection. And for me, Erin, we talk about this all the time from a spiritual standpoint. Never reject yourself. Because in your head, you go, oh, somebody else could have gotten a yes, somebody else would be, And if you don't reject yourself, that's the key of overcoming that fear.
That fear resides so deeply within me because I have trouble asking for what I want. I can talk my way around it till I am blue in the face, and I wait for that opportunity to be given or presented by the person, especially if I'm interacting with a man. And I want to ask for something. I can't bring myself to do it.
Part of what's going on is you're afraid of being rejected, it sounds like. And the way to do that is just go, I'm not afraid of the no. And let go of, just trust the process. And when the second fear for me, maybe was for you as well, was the fear of failure. Which, what if I have a podcast and no one downloads it? And I'll be embarrassed and I'll waste all this time and money. And one of my guests, Jay Sammet, said, you know what? Failure is just feedback. Keep going till you get a zombie idea. This is clearly a zombie idea. So great it won't die.
We're a zombie. I feel like a zombie after waking up every single day of the week.
If you look at failure as just feedback, or the no is just feedback, it's no for now, or no, that's not a fit, then I think you'll be more empowered to ask for what you want sooner.
I just love that. One of my favorite books, my favorite book now, was I Can't Accept Not Trying by Michael Jordan, and he basically says, you miss 100% of the that you don't take.
Exactly.
But it's a hard thing to think about when you're in the moment and there's so much fear. So is there anything that you've sort of encourage people to do to get through the fear when they're in the moment, they want to ask for help or they want to ask for help?
Yes, well, the third fear for me was not only the fear of failure, but the fear of the unknown. And that's a big one. That's what almost saved me from doing the podcast. I didn't even know what mic to buy, let alone who to interview. Right? So the secret to overcoming the fear of the unknown is don't go it alone. Collaborate. Get people to help you. In my case, I found people that produce the podcast for me, so I don't have to learn all that. So I think if you realize that you don't take rejection personally, failure's just feedback, and the unknown, collaborate, don't go it alone, then whatever fear is coming up, you'll be able to conquer.
Love that. So powerful.
So I know for podcasts, it's so interesting because you only think of whatever genre you're interested in. But people could do it that are just even in a traditional business, right? like tell us a little bit about that, like some of the clients you work with and how it's transformed their business.
Well, one of my clients is Kessler, which is the world's largest architecture firm. And they hire me to help them with their presentations and their storytelling. I say, forget selling and tell stories instead. Whoever tells the best stories gets the person's the yes, because we're wired for that. So what's happening for a lot of architects is they wait for someone to send them a proposal and then they go in. But there's no relationship before they go into that room. The podcast starts the relationship 6 months before they even realize they need an architect. So I've helped them start a podcast where they're interviewing potential clients and finding out what keeps them up at night. When you ask those kinds of questions on a podcast, then you get insights as to what they need 6 months, a year from now.
Fantastic.
So would somebody like that, because I have a dear friend that's also thinking about starting a podcast. She has a UX company and she's doing marketing. I thought, well, why don't you consider doing that? Because then you but who would be her client? Would it be the client that she would want to be reaching to have another like in her field, like another UX person? But if her client is someone who doesn't really understand UX, and they might not necessarily be looking for a podcast that's just on UX, how would you strategize something like that?
Well, I work with people to say, who's your ideal client, and who are you having trouble getting past the gatekeepers? Like, oh, you can't talk to them for whatever reason? But if you invite them to be on your podcast, you bypass all the gatekeepers. And that's who you want to have on your show.
So let's talk about pitching those gatekeepers.
Yes.
Because that is a huge secret. You know, I was reading in your book, The Successful Pitch, some forewords. You know, Kim Douglas even said she worked with you. She's a world-renowned beauty expert in pitching Ellen. She got on the show. She's been on the show now for 8 years.
Do you want to hear that story of how I helped her get on Ellen?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, Kim, as you know, has been on television many, many times. And when she first pitched Ellen, I was working at W Magazine, and they had her on the cover as Ellen DeGlamorous, the first time she was hosting the Oscars. And Kim's first book was The Black Book of Hollywood Beauty Secrets. And she pitched the producers, and they said, you know, Ellen doesn't really have a lot of authors on the show. She just is really focused on her hair color, not a lot of beauty. Thanks, but no thanks. Maybe you should talk to Oprah. She has authors on. This is when Oprah was still on. I said, okay, Kim, that's our first no. But your book is all about how to get red carpet ready, and Ellen's got, you know, the guy from, you know, the fitness helping her get in shape. So why don't we really target what to do the day before the Oscars and make it funny? Because you're funny and Ellen's funny. So when we figured out what the segment would look like as related to Ellen going on the Oscars that Sunday, she got on that Friday, and I was in the dressing room with her.
Wow.
And there was a whole thing about, well, you know, the spray of this particular fragrance makes you appear younger. And so Ellen grabs the bottle and starts spraying. She goes, oh my God, the set looks brand new. And then, you know, one of Kim's tip was put some rose petals down your brassiere and you'll smell like roses when you're walking around the Oscars. And so, you know, Ellen grabs half a grape, which is the fragrance, and some rose petals, and they're doing a whole Lucy Ethel thing, and that's why Kim's been able to be on all these years, multiple times.
But what is so genius about that is Kim obviously is the expert, she's the product. It was just a way of tweaking the pitch.
Exactly.
She's still selling the same thing.
Yes, but it was a very customized, we're gonna help Ellen get ready, red carpet. Is she wearing a dress or not? What beauty secrets? And of course, they're funny beauty secrets, and then boom, they had the chemistry that the three of you have, and it was off and running.
Wow. Oh, you another check.
But it's really goes to show, though, that no doesn't mean never, it means not now. So if you adjust the way you're pitching or you're having this conversation, negotiating this deal, accept the no, rework your pitch, and go back for it.
That's what storytelling is so great. If you can create a story for someone where they see themselves in the story, imagine it's the Friday before the Oscars and Kim's helping Ellen get ready for well, suddenly now they see that story, they see the segment, and it's perfect timing for what they need at that moment. So you're absolutely right.
And that's like Good Morning LaLa Land. We're really trying to create the story, maybe you can help us a little, around that LaLa Land is not just about LA. It is really about dreamers. It's about people that have the, you know, courage to persevere through the hard times and go for their dreams and do good in the world and make a difference, really. So what do you think, how do we make that story more?
Well,
how do we
I would
develop
tell that story in terms of why did people come to California in the first place?
Sunshine
the
and
gold rush.
the dream.
Right? The gold rush. Go back further. The gold rush, right? Looking for their dreams. How did Hollywood get started? right? Because the weather was great here and it was a way to do that. It's tap into the story of origin. Whoever you are, you've got your own story of origin, and everyone wants to know, how did you start? How did you start? You know, we can't all imagine you being this gorgeous and talented from the beginning, but you had it.
That's right. Look up like that.
You're like camera ready.
By chance.
Right, but when you go back to the story of origin of what do people associate with Hollywood and how, even the movie La La Land, right? There's a reason why this particular location is situated, and even now in Silicon Beach compared to Silicon Valley, right? That there's a whole mindset of dreams can come true no matter what industry you're in. But Hollywood is all about storytelling, and when you tell that story of what this show's about, then the appeal gets much broader than just you have to live here in LA because we're talking about the traffic. No. We're talking about changing your life.
We need to script our trailer for it for sure. It's so good. Your work is profound, John. You have impacted my life. You've impacted so many lives. And we met because we were at a spiritual center, Global Truth Center. Big shout out to James Mellon and everyone over there. And I do believe that your mindset and those truths have really helped you on your journey. Tell us a little bit about how that's benefited this journey for you.
For me, one of the things is when you think it, you can believe it, and then it happens, right? The concept that you're as happy as your thoughts. So if you get to control your thoughts, which control your beliefs, then you can have that. One of my recent goals was to do a TEDx talk. And I was applying to a lot of different places, and it's like an audition for an actor. Like, oh, you made the cutback, but not yet. Right? And for a year and a half, 15 different locations saying almost but no, I had to walk my own talk of not taking rejection personally. And then I got a yes. And I was like, ah. And it all fit into a theme of amazement, and it's about being the lifeguard of your own life. And how, if you take that on as, unlike in a hurricane when they send a helicopter in to rescue you, no one's going to do that for you. You got to rescue yourself.
Wow.
And when we have that mindset, because my personal goal is to get as many people as possible off the self-esteem roller coaster. You know, I was on it myself. I only feel good if my numbers are up and I'm making tons of money, and I feel bad about myself if I'm not hitting my goals. And I'm looking at how many likes I have or whatever all that craziness is that we get caught up in. But when you remember that who you are is bigger than anything happening to you, then you're off the self-esteem roller coaster and you're happy regardless of what's going on. You're not needing all that outside confirmation to tell you who you are is enough.
Right.
So powerful.
So powerful.
And I think most of us have had that experience in life where we've had this self-love, this conditional kind of self-esteem, and it's great when things are going well, and then when things aren't, it's not, and you don't have the resources to really pull yourself back up.
Right, or even our bodies, right? You're like, oh, it's a 6-pack and not an 8-pack, right? And suddenly you're all nervous, right? Am I enough? Right? You can drive yourself crazy, right?
And it's endless.
Right, it's endless, right? I'm only gorgeous if I'm this amount of weight or have this much money in the bank. I don't feel secure. All of that's constant up and down, and we have to transform that. And to your other question earlier about how do we get people to say yes to us when we find the courage to ask that question, people by transformation, and since that's the theme today, I thought that was really valuable to underline, not information. So when you're asking someone to say yes to you, whether it's a TEDx talk, sponsor me for whatever it is, tell the story of what that does for you when you're going to go from here to here, as opposed to just spewing out a bunch of information.
Such a powerful point, and I really appreciate you highlighting that, because I think we've all discovered that people really make decisions from an emotional place.
Exactly.
Not from a logical place. You know, they backfill it with data and logic. And I love that you share that, and I love that you live that too. You know, that's part of, I think your gift is you're able to connect with people on an emotional level.
You have a distinction around that. They start with the
Yes.
heart.
Yep. There's 3 unspoken questions people have when they hear you pitch anything. Do I trust you? Which is that thing. And the best, that's where the handshake came from, to show I didn't have a weapon. And then it moves from the gut to the heart. Do I like you? The more you put your empathy hat on and show you can understand what that person's going through, your likability goes up. Teachers spend more time with students they like. Doctors spend more time with patients they like. So you want to have your gut, your heart, and then it goes to the head. And as you're telling what you're going to do, people are thinking to themselves, will this work for me? Can I see myself in this story? So gut, heart, head. Most people think it's the opposite. Oh, if I get to know you, then you like me, then you trust me. You got to start from the bottom up, not the top down.
So true. So where can people find you?
My website, John Livesay, Livesay, and if you text the word pitch to 66866. I'll send you my free book, Getting to Yes,
Wow.
From Invisible to Irresistible.
I love that. He is high tech too. You can text him right now. I love you so much, John. Thank you so much for coming down. We're going to take a little break.
Really.
Right, we're going to take a little break, talk
you.
about some more
Thank you.
transformation, and we'll see you in a second. So great.
I'm Jamaal, co-host of Good Morning LaLa Land with my associate producer, Ms. Victoria Simone.
Hey girl, what are we wearing right now?
Special thanks to J Squad for making us feel like true goddesses. Today, he's sponsoring the look for all of This Week in La La Land.
Yes. Speaking of This Week in La La Land, what happened?
We started off interviewing Jane Hansen. She's an Emmy Award-winning OG host of hosts.
What's crazy?
Living legend, right? We also had 2 Emmy Award winners of the Bay, Eric and Santi Nielsen, #relationship goals. And my favorite girl who makes grown men cry was here, Kirsten Collins, releasing her new single, Rainbows.
What a baby.
We are so excited to welcome Dr. Sandra Lee, aka Dr. Pimple Popper, to the studio. She's got over 2 billion views on YouTube, a true skincare sensation. We also welcome to the studio the creative team of Sick for Toys, the directors, the producers from the house. We went to the premiere in Beverly Hills that night.
Thank you guys so much for tuning into This Week in La La Land. Jez?
It's gonna be a good morning, La La Land.
Hey everyone, thank you for tuning into This Week in Focus. Victoria Simone here, associate producer here at Focus TV Network, America's first live streaming daily talk show network with my girl,
Jamaal, co-host of Good Morning LaLa Land. So Victoria, tell me what happened this week in Focus.
So last week on the Focus TV Network, we had What's Good
with Aida Rodriguez, super funny, talented comedian.
We had Reshape with Ali Landry.
With legendary Roma Downey and Kyle Richards.
We had Moms Matter hosted by Shirin Yadigar. On that show was
Sophia Dixon,
founder of Q Wonder. We had Success Beyond Beauty founder Terry Briggs with our girl Erica Dela Cruz. Jez, who are we wearing right now?
We are wearing J Squad. Special thanks for making us feel like a true goddess here on Good Morning La La Land.
Speaking of Good Morning La La Land, who was on last week?
We had legendary host Jane Hansen, the creative team of Sick for Toys, amazing musician, and Kirsten Collins was here, singer-songwriter, and she's making grown men cry. And of course, we had Eric and Santi Nielsen from the Bay.
Couple goals. Thanks for tuning in to This Week in Focus. Jez, thanks for helping me out.
Live from Los Angeles, welcome back to Good Morning La La Land. It is a pleasure to introduce a dear friend of the Focus TV family, Mr. Jamaal Murray.
Hello.
Hello, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much. Thank you
how
so
are
much.
ya?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm pretty good.
Not only are you an incredible photographer, but you truly have an eye and a vision.
Yes.
And you've had a vision for your life for a very long time. Our associate producer, Ms. Victoria Simone, told us a little bit about your story of transformation, and I'd love it if you would share.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, when everyone moves to LA, they have a certain vision for their lives, and I thought I was going to come out here and become famous. That was the thing. I was a kid. Famous was the thing. And I realized once you get out here, the city is not what you see on TV. It's not okay. So, you know, I got a regular job, and, you know, I'm feeling unfulfilled in that job. And
What was this job?
I worked at a psychic network. I
Really? Okay.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Customer service rep at a psychic network. I was like, this is not what I came out here to do, but I did it. It paid the bills, paid well. And I sort of stumbled upon photography. Picked up a camera, had a bunch of actor friends, and I said, well, let me just try to do some headshots. But the transformation part is that I look back over my life as a childhood. I always had a camera. I was always the one taking photos of people, and I was always the one behind the scenes taking pictures. So it was sort of a natural evolution that I stumbled upon this professionally. And I always tell people, when you do a transformation, it's not you becoming a horse to a cow. You're a caterpillar to a butterfly. And transformation is something where it's something that's always there. It's always something that, you know, God has placed in you before you were born. And you just have to realize that a lot of people run from the things that they're called to, and a lot of people, they ignore them. But me, I was like, well, this is something that I've always done, something that I was always passionate about. I was like, it was a natural transformation for me. I didn't become something that I wasn't. I became more of what I already was.
But how did you let go of the idea of the dream, of the expectation to be famous in that? Because that's a hard thing when people come to Los Angeles for fame.
It's a different sort of equation. We equate fame with success, or fame with me, or fame with happiness, and that's not really what it is. It's sort of you fulfilling sort of your desires and your passions, and that's what becomes the thing that drives you, and not fame or being seen. So it was like me helping people with my photography. I do a lot of headshots, so I work with actors. And I hear stories that people travel far, thousands and thousands of miles, far from their family. They're alone, and you know, they came out here for a dream. It's hard. And I am like one of the many steps in the process to help someone else fulfill their dreams.
I love that. You know, you talked about the butterfly and transformation, and I totally agree that we have that in us our entire life. In fact, they have cells in the caterpillar called imaginal cells that actually are what transforms. You know, we already have it in us, as you said. You talked about prayer earlier when we asked what you do in the morning, and you also talked about having you know, this in you already and going through that transformation. Was there a surrender? Was there some hard times that you have to surrender in those moments to make that transformation?
Yes, absolutely. It's I can get real comfortable in a nice situation, and I'm the type of person that sort of has to be pushed into something. So what happened was I lost the job at the Psychic Network, which I say was a blessing in disguise.
Wait, but were you the psychic, or were you like doing
No. I wasn't the psychic. Well, here's the thing. We all have the ability to be intuitive and see things and know things before they happen.
Right?
Exactly. So it's, do you deny that part of you, or do you embrace that part of you? And I happen to embrace that. I can connect to someone on a level where I can see things in you that you may not see in yourself, or feel things that may come up for you in the past. And that's just a part of being sort of sensitive and aware and open.
You can embrace the intuition of the psychic without going 1-900 psychic, can I help you?
Exactly. And when I shoot with people, when they come to me, I'm open. Because in order for them to be open, I need to be open as well. So there's an exchange of energy, and I can't be closed off or blocked. So when someone comes in front of me and then they see that I'm sort of open, I'm very goofy and self-deprecating and have a good time, they sort of release those boundaries, and that to me allows us to capture a better image. It allows them to relax in front of me. So that's one of the things. But where I had to surrender, which we all have to do, because we're holding on to something or a power that we think that's our own. And we have to rely on sort of an ultimate strength and an ultimate power. And we have to surrender to that, because if we try to do things in our strength, we will fail. And there's a higher power and a higher calling, and something that sort of drives us that's bigger and beyond our own. So what I did was I surrendered. I just said, you know, what is it, you know, God, that you want me to do? And he said, just help people. I'm not a surgeon, and I can't do certain things, but I can help people through my photography. I can help people realize their dreams. That's my main goal. It's like whatever I can do in my sort of creative aspects of my photography to get you to realize your own dreams. That's what I'll do.
Well, I'm sure Jazz and Rob probably can really relate to this, because they have done a lot of modeling. So I would imagine there's like a magic that happens with a photographer, right?
Oh, 1,000%. 1,000%.
I get a lot of times when people leave me, they say, you know what? I was really comfortable with you. I had a really good time, and that makes me really feel good, because some people can be cold and distant, and it's really just about a connection, and we all have it. We're all more connected than we are not, and things like religion and things like that can be divisive. But if we are just the spiritual beings, which we all have, that's the thing that connects us. That's the thing that brings everyone together. So I try to bring that.
Right. And now you're photographing, big names, all kinds of incredible projects. What are you most excited about right now?
I'm really excited about just sort of expanded my photography business. I work with a lot of actors now. I want to expand into sort of fashion photography and modeling, things of that nature, and telling stories through my photography.
Were you in the pitch whispers?
I was going to
Good
just
to
say,
go.
good timing.
Eyes are the window to the soul, and you have a way of bringing out
Absolutely.
those eyes in
Thank you.
so many of the photos that
Thank
I've
you.
seen. Thank you for being here, for
Thank
sharing
you
your
for having
time
me.
and your talent and your
Very
light with
fun.
us. Tell everyone where they can find you so they can.
Mostly Instagram. It's Photos by Jamaal. That's Jamaal. Photos by Jamaal.
Love it.
Love your light, man.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for sharing your story.
We'll be back with more on Good Morning LaLa Land. Stay tuned.
Welcome to Good Morning LaLa Land. We are so excited to announce
That Good Morning LaLa Land is now being featured on Connect TV.
That's right. You can check it out on Apple TV, Roku, iOS, and Android, as well as on the web.
Check us out. We're going to be everywhere, literally.
We are going to believe, connect, and change the world. It's going to be a Good Morning LaLa Land.
Welcome back. We have this lovely married couple, Rob and Linda Kessler, and they are here to showcase their $1 million collar. Tell us a little bit about this.
So basically, it's like a collar stay, except it goes down this part of the shirt. You know, most people wear ties anymore, so I didn't want to walk around looking sloppy. This all came about when we got married in Jamaica. We actually met on the beach in Milwaukee and got married on the beach in Jamaica.
Wow.
And so, before I even said I do, my shirt was I was just tugging at it all day. It was a chill beach wedding. I wasn't gonna wear a tie. And I looked at my photos and I was like, man, it's just drove me crazy. I just hated the way it looked. So I came home, I literally started cutting open every dress shirt I had. I found every piece of plastic I could find in my house and just started testing and ruining shirts left and right. And
milk cartons, mini blinds. I mean, anything.
Mini blinds.
Anything I could find.
Prove a concept.
I thought I was nuts, and now I realize that we have this in common because it's truly nuts. I have a friend, Melanie Whittle, and she's a stylist, and she says the one thing about impeccably dressed men is their collar's always perfect, Rob. So I'm always, of course, now that's why today I had to wear a t-shirt because I was like, I cannot. But people hate me because they're like,
now I see every single. I can't wear any other shirt that
No.
doesn't have $1 million collar.
And it's mind blowing because you can buy the most expensive shirt, but the collar just won't stay. So this is just brilliant.
So how did you feel about this when he's ruining all of his shirts, proving a concept? Are you like,
Well, the first thing is the placket. And most people don't know what a placket is. They know what a collar is, but they call the collar anything that frames a face. So now, first of all, we're talking about something we don't know exists, placket where the button and buttonholes are. And then it was, I don't know what you're doing. And like, I'm ready, and he's still ironing his shirt, and I'm like, what are you doing?
He's like spraying on
And
stars.
so
I
it
tried
actually,
everything.
because it doesn't exist, and we're used to seeing dress shirts how they are, when you see it upgraded, you're like,
Interesting.
so I at first didn't know what he was even talking about. So now it's a visual thing, because like a collar, placket, something that's upright and not. So it's
is this something you can throw in the washer? Or is this just dry clean only?
It took 3 years to develop a material that could be installed once and just wash, dry, iron, dry clean under. It doesn't matter what you do to the shirt, it will last for the life of the shirt. And I have shirts with 100 presses on, and I talk to a lot of dry cleaners, and they're like, we don't ever do shirts, rarely 100 times. I mean, 60 is about as many times.
So they have to buy the actual shirt. They can't insert other
No,
shirts.
it's an aftermarket. It goes into
can't.
any dress shirt. I got this
wow.
shirt yesterday from my friend Susan at J. Hilburn. But yeah, I got this yesterday and upgraded last night. I taught myself how to sew. It takes like 5-6 minutes to put it in any shirt, and once it's in, it's just in.
Yeah. So you could take it to your dry cleaner that has the seamstress in there, and he or she could put it in.
Yeah, everything transformative. I'm gonna be honest with you, because I have gone through so many shirts just trying to get it right and doing like with the spray starch. I use double stick tape, like everything. But I mean, you can literally spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on a really great shirt, and still the placket is just all crumbled up.
You know, you get that softer fabric, and then even less structure to it. And, you know, shirts really weren't designed to be worn without a tie. But the fact is up to 90% of shirts now worn without a tie. And so the shirts haven't caught up to trends, really, and we just have the one product that actually fixes it.
Wow. What was the hardest part about this business? Was it actually coming up with the design for the product itself? Was it distribution? Was it marketing? What's been the most difficult part of the journey for you?
It's been a big education, you know, because like Linda said, nobody knows what a placket is. You know, we call it $1 Million Collar because that's at least gets people in the right area of the shirt. So educating people what the actual difference is from a collar stay to a placket stay. And then it's really getting some of the old, big guys to get their head around this change. Shirts have been pretty much made the same way for about 100 years, and there have been a lot of changes, and this is a pretty dynamic change. So we hear a lot of no's, as John said, so I keep grinding through my no's.
I find it really interesting. I mean, so you get married, you're a newly married couple, and you're building a business together.
Multiple businesses, yeah.
I owned a gym called the Transformation Room.
Oh,
So
wow.
I did TRX and Pilates, and I worked for brands like Insanity, Beachbody, TRX Matrix, and I do fitness modeling for them. So I was working on that. He was working on a screen printing company, and then trying to get the patent on this. So we do have the patent on $1 Million Collar. So that was a task in itself, actually getting a U.S. patent. And then we're like, hey, let's move to California, because we are sick of Wisconsin winters where we know what negative 75 feels like.
Wow.
Gotta leave.
Yes.
So we're like, okay, let's move across the country. If we're gonna start this adventure and we have the patent, we're gonna do this, let's just start over and focus on one thing. And so that's when we moved to California and Los Angeles, and so we could focus 100% on $1 Million Collar. And the creativity and the atmosphere here in Los Angeles and the like-minded go-getter attitude is phenomenal to be surrounded by.
Wow. So LaLa Land, right?
Yes.
Everybody's
Yes.
fulfilling their dreams. And
Yes.
you're like, oh, I mean, what do they say? 1 in 8 businesses doesn't make it. But this is brilliant. I mean, honestly, I can think of every single man wears shirts, right? I mean, it's like you have a pretty big market. And I love the name of it because it's like a big affirmation goal at the same time, right? It's like a right? And it's like a subconscious, like, reprogramming for people. When they wear these shirts, they're going to be very successful voluntarily, right?
Well, girls, we have so many options to wear. We have dresses, we have jumpers, we have dress shirts, we have blouses, we have God knows what. Men, they want to look nice. We have a suit, and we have, dress up like this, looks beautiful, and then a dress shirt. What other options do you have to look nice? Yeah. So now it's taking the dress shirt to the next level, so you can look nice but casual and just have more of a suave look than just always having a tie on and always being like just over the top. And there's nothing wrong with the tie, and you could do many other options, but it's just nice to have that more casual upscale look.
I love that. I love that so much, you guys. It's really a cool story. And I love that, I'm sure John's helped you with your story around it, but I love the idea that you guys were getting married, and it was something like there's a concern about a guy's shirt, like who cares about that? But guys care about that.
Yeah.
And we don't even realize that as women. We don't think that, because guys won't tell us that generally. They will just have their own little conversation about it.
I just watched Rob fidget with his collar the whole time. Yeah. And then he'll be like FaceTiming his friend Melanie, and she's like, fix your collar.
In between segments, I'm like, texting, she's like, you better fix that collar, Rob. I don't have that problem anymore.
I told John I know what I'm doing every morning. I'm coming here with my sewing machine and making sure anybody who goes on.
Oh man, I'm
set up. So.
I am so
And that's the best thing. You have like a 6'2" tattooed man with a sewing machine, and he's just like,
awesome.
the one thing he knows how to do is
Yeah, I can't hem your pants, but
$1 million
collar all day.
That in itself is a great story. Where can people find the $1 million collar?
The easiest place is on our website or Amazon, but if they go to our website, we got a 15% discount code for all the viewers.
Cool.
GMLLL.
All right. Look
Nice
at
and easy.
that.
Yes,
I
that's what my dad's getting for Father's Day. With
For
the promo
sure.
code.
Brilliant idea, guys. Congratulations on
Thanks
getting
so
your
much.
patent and stuff. So looking forward to watching it all unfold for you, for sure.
Thanks.
So stay tuned, you guys. We will be right back. We're going to bring everybody back. Stay tuned for more transformation. Welcome back. We are celebrating Transformation Tuesday, and I want to ask you guys a question. So we asked you about your morning routine. I want to know, what is the most transformative thing you do in your daily routine? What has transformed your life the most, John?
I would say the thing that transforms my life the most is to not panic and stay calm no matter what's going on, and that comes from my lifeguard training. Because our mind wants to go to worst case scenario and catastrophize everything. And if we just went, wait a minute, stay calm, no matter what's happening, I'll figure this out, I'll get some help. That's what I
love that.
I love that. That used to bother me when I would see like somebody out there in the ocean or the pool, or like somebody that was having like an emergency, and I'd see the paramedics, the lifeguard, like kind of taking their time, it seemed almost. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so necessary that they do take their time. If they're panicked, how can they help anyone?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Gratitude. I just say thank you for everything that took place during that day, the good and the bad, the obstacles and the triumphs. Say thank you, and that's my sort of release, because it's a new day, following day. If I can make it, then there's new challenges, new opportunities, and new blessings. So say thank you at the end of the night.
Nice.
I love it.
Actually, we live in Marina Del Rey, so I'm on the ocean and I manifest. We'll actually go on runs and we'll stop and I speak out loud to the ocean and say what I'm grateful for and what I want. And you can't just ask for what you want, you have to act on it. And sometimes just saying it out loud to like this great power of the ocean, it feels so good to like, okay, this is what I need to do to get to that goal. And I just speak it out loud.
Awesome.
I'm really good with lists. I just, if I don't have a list for the day, I am scatterbrained all over. All of a sudden it's 3 o'clock. I'm like, what? I have done nothing if I don't have a list. So I keep my list, check it, scratch it off, feels good.
Nice. I love that.
I already add some of the things I've done on that list so I can start with a few checks. You feel accomplished, right? It's not all you have to do. You have to recognize what you've already done.
I love that you do that, Jessamine. I love it. It's a great way to start the day.
That's a great way to let go of being a perfectionist and be a progressionist, where you celebrate your progress.
Thank you.
So tweetable, so tweetable. Oh my
Amazing.
gosh.
We are Good Morning LaLa Land, America's first live streaming daily talk show, coming to you Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Now also available as a podcast on iTunes.
Right? It's all about liking, sharing, and commenting and supporting the community that you love. We are waking up the world together, and have a wonderful divine day, you guys. May you live your truth.
It's going to be a good morning, La La Land.
Good morning.